afternoon, TQ agents. I am so excited. Today I'm joined by Mike Howell from Allianz, and if you've talked to me at TravelQuest, I tell you guys time and time again, you have to be selling travel insurance in this day and age. Mike's going to help us understand more about travel insurance and what the new updates are with Allianz. Thanks, Mike, for joining us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and Angie, and I appreciate everyone's time today. And we're very excited about new enhancements coming up on July 24th. And what I'll do is go through the different enhancements and the value that are there for your customers. And you will also have access to a PDF of this training as well, so you can refer back to it when needed. So thank you again. And what I wanted to show is we always listen to the customers in the surveys. We listen to travel agents in the surveys, and we always try to enhance the customer service level, which in this case you'll see some of the benefits are excellent and will enhance the value for your customers. First thing I wanted to mention is we are going to do a pre-departure email 7 days within 7 days of travel to your customers, and what we're going to do is we're going to say we hope you have a great trip to Cancun. Just wanted to remind you, you have a policy with Allianz. Here's your policy number. Here are your benefits. If you have any concerns or questions before or during your trip, please let us know. We're here to help. And this will be a nice PDF email that comes out within 7 days of travel. And also, chances are they'll pack that with them when they go. If they got a policy a year ago, they might forget to pack it. But in this case, it will give them, and hopefully get things off your desk. If they have questions or concerns, they won't be calling you. They'll call us because they have the policy number with the phone number for us. So hopefully it will be a positive thing for you guys as well. Wanted to also mention that in the surveys we do, a lot of people said when they get their emails after they buy a policy, they don't know what the benefits are. What is the explanation? What is the description of the benefits? So our new policies, effective July 24th, are actually going to show what each benefit is. And that could head off calls to you, too, instead of having them call and say, well, what does this mean? So again, we're trying to enhance, we listen to people, and we're trying to enhance the experience. Here are the different things that we're going to be enhancing. I'm going to run through each one quickly, and then I will highlight each one individually. The biggest thing is we're introducing proactive claim payments. What we're doing is, for the travel delay benefit, we are reducing it from 6 hours to 5 hours. And effective July 24th, you will have the ability in Agent Max, the booking tool, to put in their flight numbers. And we will track their flight numbers. And if they have a delay more than 5 hours, we will send them an email or a text, depending on how you designated when you put in the flight number, that we would give them $100 proactive payment while they're on their trip. And this is $100 per person, okay? So if you have a family of 6, it's going to be $600. So what we will do, we will send an email or a text, and I'll go into that, but I want to just go over the benefits quickly on what it was. So we will highlight that in the next slide. New covered reasons, I think you'll like them very much. We've reduced the travel delay benefits from 6 hours to 5. We also have a new approach to pre-existing condition, which I'll go over as well, which is great. Less third-party medical paperwork. We are not going to require, moving forward after July 24th, we're not going to require that when someone is sick and files a claim, that the physician has to fill out the physician statement form. We're not going to require that form any longer. We found in the past maybe the doctors or the assistants filled it out wrong and it went back and forth with us and delayed claims 2 to 3 months. So we are not going to require the form any longer. All we'll require is a receipt from the doctor, from the office, that you did visit the doctor. What is not changing is anytime someone's sick, you have to go see a doctor within 72 hours of canceling, and you have to have an exam. Okay? Still have to do that. The only thing is the physician will not have to fill out information on that, okay? So it's very important that this will speed up claims. All we need is the person visited a receipt from that doctor's office saying that you were there. That's all we need. This will speed up claims quite a bit. And also the pricing, what we're doing is we're expanding the age band on trips, on policies. So in the past, we had heard that maybe if someone was older or had higher trip costs, that it was very expensive, maybe higher than the competition, okay? So what we did, or what we're going to do, we're going to expand the age bands for policies, which will spread the risk of policies, which means that you'll find that the older clients, the higher trip cost clients, may not be as expensive as they used to be. So again, if you're comparing, please compare Allianz, because you may find pricing may be lower than the competition in many situations. So that's also something that we're going to do. So also wanted to mention the names of the products, most of them are going to stay the same. Classic is still going to stay Classic. Required to Work is still going to be an add-on to Classic. Cancel Anytime will still be called Cancel Anytime. The biggest change is Trip Plus. Trip Plus is the double benefits product, the highest level product. And people were confused with Trip Plus. What does that mean, Trip Plus? So effective July 24th, we are going to call it Premier, okay, which makes sense, the best product out there. Some of the advantages, I'm going to go over the advantages of you selling the Trip Plus to customers, or at least offering it, because Trip Plus, or Premier, which will be called July 24th, will have, still has kids free. So sometimes when you have families traveling, the difference between Classic and Trip Plus can be $40 to give them double benefits. Plus your commissions bump to the highest level, and our revenue goes up. So I always say when you're quoting from Agamax, please give them the option, compare products of Classic and Trip Plus, okay? Very important, because you may be able to upsell them to higher benefits, and it may not be that much more, okay? So we talked about the travel delay benefit, the proactive payment. The Classic and the Classic with Cancel Anytime, as I mentioned, the travel delay benefit now will go from 6 hours to 5. And for the first $100, no receipts are going to be needed. We're going to track their flight. You put the flight numbers in, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. You put the flight numbers in, we will track it, and if someone has a delay more than 5 hours, we will send them either an email or a text letting them know they're entitled to this money, and they can, if they want to put it in their bank account right now while they're on their trip, they just have to click a button and put in their banking information. So it's really a nice perk, and it's very different from the competitors out there. No other competitors are doing this, okay? So the baggage delay is going from 24 hours to 12. What that means is if you have a flight, a bag's delayed more than 12 hours, they usually sign a receipt saying they got it. You know, when they come home, when they file a claim, they can submit that paperwork that it was delayed, and we will give them $100 without any receipts. In the past, we used to say, oh, insurance, you need receipts for everything, or we're not going to pay you anything. This is a different rule now. It's a little bit relaxed rule. So you will be able to get $100 without receipts. Now, if you bought things and your bags were delayed more than 12 hours and you bought additional stuff and had receipts, you can always send that in later after the fact. We're not going to deny someone because they have receipts. Just because you took advantage of the travel delay benefit for $100 doesn't mean if you have more receipts later as a result of that, you can submit that in the claim. Okay, but these are nice proactive. $100, you do nothing, you get it on your trip. It's really nice. The baggage delay, When you file a claim, you can file and get $100 with no receipts, okay? If you have more receipts, yeah, submit them because you'll get more money. So remember, the travel delay goes to 5 hours on July 24th. The baggage delay goes to 12. This is a biggie too, the enhanced change fee and loyalty redeposit coverage. This means I get sick. I can't go, change fee. I can't go. I have to reissue my ticket on United. It's $200. We're now upping that benefit per person to $500 because a lot of people said a lot of international carriers, when you have a change fee, it's $400, and we only covered $250. So now we're upping it to $500. Loyalty redeposit. I take money out, I take miles out on American. I get sick, I can't go. I put them back in American. They want $300 or $400. We will cover up to $500 for that. One of the biggest things that of this change fee is we're enhancing that if a supplier changes dates on a trip that results in your clients having to get an additional change fee from the airline for changing the dates, that will be now a benefit that can be included with this enhanced change fee coverage. So that's a big thing. So it's a good thing. You're going up from $250 to $500, and we're enhancing the change fee coverage and the loyalty redeposit coverage. Okay. So the physician statement form we talked about, no longer will need that. For cancel any time, we're increasing the trip interruption. We used to be 100% payout, now 150. Gives you a little bit extra money if you're interrupted on the cancel any time. Because sometimes you're interrupted and you got to get hotels, extra hotels or extra air now. Pays out a little bit more than what you covered. So that's a real good story. The advantages of Premier. Premier is the Trip Plus equivalent now. It's going to be called Premier. Instead of 5 hours for the travel delay $100 proactive payment, it's going to be 3 hours. Okay, so that's a reason to give them an option to buy Premier. Okay, again, the second option is kids are free, so it's not that much more to do it. And the third option, the baggage is still 12 hours for that. Still has the fee. A nice covered reason has hurricane warning. Hurricane warning is covered. Hurricane warning is covered under the in this benefit. So the Premier plan allows hurricane warning. There's a hurricane going to hit Cancun. In the past, you couldn't go, or you didn't want to go, but you had to wait until Cancun was destroyed or uninhabitable. Now, if you sell them the Premier, they will have hurricane warning, and if a hurricane warning is towards their destination, they can actually cancel their trip. That's a big thing. This is not available on the Classic or the Classic with Cancel Anytime. So another advantage to looking at Premier, okay? And we talked about the physician statement form as well on this. So this is the summary. Remember, the travel delay is 5 hours for Classic or Classic with Cancel Anytime, 3 hours for Premier. And here are the benefits: the $100 proactive flight delays, you get $100 for no receipts. And just remember that if you end up having, say you get $100 on your trip, and now you have extra receipts during the whole trip, and you come home and file a claim and add it onto this claim, then you would be able to get the limits. You're not going to be penalized because you took the 100 first, okay? So that's important. And again, this is very different from the competition. Let's put it that way, very different. And a nice enhancement on behalf of Allianz. What's nice about it now is travel delay has 9 reasons to get your money back. And what we're doing, we're blending this with the misconnection benefit. Misconnection only used to have 2 benefits. It's now going to have 9. So travel delay will include misconnection. So you will find your customers may be getting back more money in a misconnection scenario versus before that had only 2 reasons, weather and traffic accident. That was it. And a lot of times if it wasn't weather, if it was mechanical, you couldn't use misconnection because it wasn't part of misconnection, but it was part of travel delay. So now that they're combined, misconnection will be, sorry for all the buzzing here, misconnection will be included in the travel delay, okay? So it's very, very important. A nice enhancement. So your clients are going to get back more money when they have a misconnection now because they're going to have 9 reasons versus 2 to get their money back, so it's good. Okay, some of the new covered reasons. Employment transfer. Someone is transferred to their employment more than 200 miles from home and now they can't go, or their partner or traveler, family member, whatever, is traveling and can't go now. They're relocated to a new city. That will be an option to cancel, okay? Mandatory evacuation. You go into Key West and they're evacuating the place. In the past, you would have to wait until Key West was uninhabitable. Then you could cancel. So if you are going to a destination within 24 hours prior to your departure date, and there's a mandatory evacuation to the destination you're going, you can cancel your trip. So that's a nice covered reason. The biggest one is canceled services. This is the big one. If your consumer, if your travel supplier cannot get you to your destination within 24 hours, due to 4 reasons, natural disasters, severe weather, strike, or FAA shutdown, you can cancel before you go, okay? This is a big thing. If they can't get you there within 24 hours. Perfect example, December 24th, you're on Delta. It snows. They cancel. Never snows in Minnesota in December, I know, but I'll give you that scenario. It snows. They cancel the flight. They can't get you on another flight until 3 days. It's a holiday. In the past, you had to keep on trying until you missed 50% of your trip, and then you could cancel. We don't have that anymore. Now, if Delta cannot get you there within 24 hours, you will be able to cancel your trip. All you'll need to show is, okay, the ticket before and the new ticket and the time. You know, it will show different days and everything. And that's what you would submit for that. So this is a more relaxed rule that we do have for the new covered reasons. And it's a biggie, especially in Minnesota in the winter time. So pre-existing, I know everyone says, oh my God, this is awful. Pre-existing is pretty easy, but you know, we'll just go over the main thing. Pre-existing coverage, to get pre-existing, as you know, you got to buy the policy within 14 days of the initial deposit, okay? Got to cover all non-refundable trip costs, including air. And bottom line is, in the past, if a customer added something, they added a flight, they added a tour, and they didn't tell you about it. And now they file a claim for pre-existing, but technically they didn't cover everything non-refundable. If it was a pre-existing reason for cancellation, they would be denied because they didn't officially cover everything. And in the surveys we've done, you know, we've heard from the agency community, why should my customer be penalized because they didn't tell me about it, or I didn't add it? And now they're being denied the whole thing. So what we're doing is, the new rule will be, if you get the waiver, you book the policy within 14, the initial deposit, within 14 days of the initial deposit, you cover all known trip costs, and you would be able to, so you officially get the waiver, okay? You officially get the waiver, 14 days. You cover all known, that's on the invoice, all known trip costs. If someone adds something and does not add it down the road, say they forget to tell you they bought air or a tour or you forget to add it, you're not going to be penalized for pre-existing if a claim is for pre-existing because you officially did not cover everything. You will not be denied a claim. We won't pay for that extra stuff because you didn't cover it, but we certainly will not deny the claim like we would in the past. So this is a big enhancement, okay? This is really big enhancement on that. And so again, effective July 24th, we're putting this in, okay? And you'll have access to this PDF, so you'll be able to refer back to it as well. So just remember, you're not going to be penalized if you officially got the waiver, you covered everything known, trip costs, and within 14 days, and now additional things were not added. We always recommend you do add things, of course, to a trip, and always add it within 14 days of the new purchase date. We always recommend you add everything because we want them to get all their money back. But if they forget to add, you're not going to be penalized for pre-existing reason. And pre-existing covers a lot of people. Look at all these people it covers. You know, when people say, well, I don't need to cover everything, I don't have pre-existing, I don't care. Yeah, but it covers more than the traveler. It covers all these people, spouse, children, parents, traveling companion, all the way around. So again, this is a selling point to people that are on the fence, I don't really want insurance. Bottom line is, it covers a lot more than just you, the traveler, okay? We are, if someone has a trip more than 30 days, in the past, there was not a per diem charge after 30 days, okay? We are going to include that now. And so if someone exceeds a trip over 30 days, we are going to charge $5 additional per policy per day, okay? So if you had 32-day trip, they're going to pay the premium, and then it's going to add, Agent Max will add $5 for day 31, $5 day 32. We're doing this because in the past, people were taking policies for, oh, I'm going on a 6-month trip to Florida. Well, then they end up coming back 5 times. So there really wasn't one trip, but yet they were covered for one trip. So if people want to expand their trip beyond 30 days, which is officially what, you know, should be on the invoice, I would think, then there will be a charge of $5 per day over that 30-day limit. Now, the zero trip cost band's going away. I always thought it was useless because people should put in something. Put in $10, you know, put in $100. That will give you up to $500 if you're interested in zero trip cost. So zero trip cost is going away. This is for people that just want medical on a trip or something, but they don't want to care about trip cancellation or trip interruption. Again, it has its downside. Remember we talked about pre-existing? If you want pre-existing coverage, you got to cover everything non-refundable, right? Everything known up front. And if you buy a policy and don't do that, and your reason for cancellation, reason for interruption or medical situation or whatever is pre-existing, it would probably be denied. So there is a downside to covering just minimal coverage. Better to cover all. But I wanted to let you know if in those situations where you do cover 1 to 500, it would be you know, have its advantages and disadvantages as well. Here's how it's going to look. This is Agent Max downloaded for those that have Agent Max, but on Agent Max Online, you will still have the option to add flights, okay? You put in the flight, you put in how the customer wants to be advised, text and or email. A lot of agents that I've talked to in the trainings have said, yeah, I'm going to put in their phone number so they get a text that they're getting $100. And the email, I'll put in my email. So I'll know when my client is getting advised that they're going to get $100. So it's a nice thing to add. And you just add flight, very easy to add. Now people say, this is a lot of work. Well, you're giving them value added. You're giving them an opportunity if their flight is delayed to get money on their trip. They're going to remember that. And no other third-party supplier does this. So it's a real nice advantage in selling Allianz, okay? And we're updating, we told you we want to make it easy for customers. We're updating the purchase email that they have, and we're giving them an option to download the Travel Smart app, which is an excellent app during their trip. You can pull up their policy. They can have access to hospitals or pharmacy, or it's just a nice thing to have on a trip, okay? So just FYI, very nice. And we're making it easier to read, okay? Okay, with insurance, insurance regulators are always talking to us about what they want to see on a policy, on a certificate of insurance. And one thing they wanted was they wanted to see the breakdown of if someone paid for something, how much is accrued to insurance benefits and how much is accrued to assistance benefits, like evacuation or calling a call center. So we had to do that. It doesn't change the benefits at all, but on the welcome letter, the letter of confirmation that they get, it's going to mention, hey, here's what you paid, here's what is priced for insurance, and here's what's priced for assistance. You may get a question on it. Did my benefits change? No, nothing changed. It's just something legally that we have to put in our certificate of insurance. And every major insurance company has been mandated to do the same. So it's not just Allianz, okay? We're doing it early because we're changing and updating our products. So again, it's a time to do it. We're going to do it now. But you will see all insurance companies will have to do that, okay? We're giving the definitions we talked about, right, on that as well, you know, to make it easier so that they know what they're buying. The certificate of insurance is going to be easy, okay? A couple of days before they leave, they're going to get an email saying, okay, you know, just want to review the flights you have listed. If you want to add any more, you can do that. Just click Manage My Policy. Or if you want to add any new flights, you can go into Agemax and add flights. Always recommend, if it's like a schedule change, put in the new flight. We can't track schedule changes. So put in a new flight so that they have access to this $100 thing. Okay, it's a great benefit. And if they have to add, this is how it would look. Okay, so if they get a text, your flight American is delayed, it says 3 hours. Should be 5 hours for Classic, 3 hours for Premier. If you exceed that hours, we're going to send you some money. Next one says, okay, you've exceeded 3 hours or 5 hours. Good news is you're eligible for a $100 payment. We'll mail you a check in 5 to 10 days, or if you want it immediately, click here, or if it's an email they get, click here, and they'll be able to add in their banking information and get the money while they're on a trip. Please remember, this is $100 per person per day. If they have another delay the next day on their flight, they would get the same thing. So when you have a family of 6, and this happens, and you have the flight numbers in, and there's a travel delay more than 5 hours, they will get a lot of money up front, and they'll remember this, okay? They'll remember the value added that you did. So please add the flight numbers in effective July 24th. Can't do it retroactive now. You can't buy a policy now and, oh, I'll just add it when that tab comes in July 24th. No, it has to be any time moving now, moving forward, July 24th, anything booked and beyond, okay? And cancel flights, we don't do anything for that, but certainly remind them, hey, give us the new flight information so you'll have access to this great proactive payment if you delayed. Agemax, we all know Agemax, we love, it's a great tool. Here's the app I told you about. You got one little button here to push for assistance, which is really good. So it has a lot of good things. I always recommend you download the Travel Smart app on your phone, play around with it, and then you'll see why it's important for the customer. Okay, important dates, July 24th, that's when it's changing. You can order brochures July 9th and beyond. I will have PDFs of the brochures, which I will send out when I have them closer to the launch date. And I did want to mention that several states are talking about changing pricing on certain cells, like 30-year-olds at $2,000, they don't like our pricing, and they may have to put in their own pricing with all insurance companies, not just with us. So if this is going to happen, there's no way we can have a brochure after July, with a new brochure that's going to have pricing, because it could change. You'd be giving out the wrong information, and they'd be mad at you that it's different. So just wanted to let you know the new brochures will not have pricing, but it's very easy to send them a quote from Agent Max, okay? And very easy to do that. So as you know, you have been doing that very well. So, and then the quote will be accurate. It won't be manually calculated or whatever. And eventually we'll come down with pricing grids, which I'll provide with you. But for now, we are focusing on the launch. So after July 24th, to get a quote, just go into Agent Max or Agent Max Online and do that as well, okay? So July 9th, new brochures. But most of you will not need brochures. You'll need PDFs of the brochures, and we'll do that as well. So again, thank you very much for your time. Listed below here is my information and also my email address. If you have any questions, please let me know. And again, thank you very much for your support of Allianz Travel Insurance. Have a good day.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you so much for your time. And like Mike said, if you do have any questions, you have his name up here. If you perchance can't write it down at this moment in time, just contact me. I have all of Mike's stuff. Thanks, Mike, for the update.
Okay, thank you, Angie, and thank you all for the opportunity to present to you. I appreciate it, and certainly appreciate all the business you send to Allianz. Thank you very much.